All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The NBA's worst kept secret is now official as the Los Angeles Lakers today selected Bronny James in the second round of the NBA draft. Now, there was much speculation that the Lakers would select Bronny, and they did, which, in my opinion, has now opened up a big can of worms. The Lakers, plain and simple, are taking Bronny because of his dad. And if anybody thinks otherwise, plain and simply, they're just lying to themselves. The biggest question for me and a lot of people is Bronny ready for the NBA? And I'm gonna say no. Okay. And it's due to the fact that, in his 1 year collegiately at USC, he didn't get busy. Okay. It's one of those where we're talking about this guy who was eighth on the team in scoring at just under 5 points per game. And it's not just, well, he scored less than 5 points per game. It's also the fact that he did it on a team that really wasn't a good team. And it's one of those, don't get me wrong, everybody's not going to go out there and average 25 points per game in college, but you can watch a kid play at the collegiate level. You can watch a kid play at the high school level and get an idea of whether or not this youngster has potential at the next level. We really haven't seen enough of Bronny James, in my opinion, at the collegiate level to see that. Don't get me wrong, he had a lot to overcome. He had that heart procedure um, several months ago, and it's one of those where maybe they were doing stuff with the kid gloves. We don't know, uh, but at the end of the day, the Lakers taking Bronny, does that help or hinder him? For me, if Bronny was going to come to the NBA, I really think he would have been better served going to another team because to me, I think this is going to be a distraction due to the fact that this is LeBron James's son, and it's one of those where I think going to the NBA, it should have been one of those where maybe another team takes him and he has the opportunity, you know, to build his own reputation, his own legacy, in comparison to being in the shadow of his dad. So, with that said, okay, clearly they've drafted Bronny. He's going to have a roster spot. But what happens mid-season when LeBron wants and needs some help? Because we've seen 2 decades of this, so we know, the same old song and dance. And what's it going to be? He's definitely not going to part with his son there. But again, that's taking up a roster spot, a la Giannis in Milwaukee with the Bucks with his brother. So it's a lot to uncover about this. We've heard about the rumors about Rich Paul telling teams not to draft Bronny, and it's one of those where it's not the first time that we've seen something like this. I mean, of course, you go back to the '96 draft for Kobe Bryant, and of course, the infamous story about the Nets wanting him and them being told not to take him. Okay, we've seen it in the NFL before, where John Elway didn't want to play with the Baltimore Colts. Eli Manning didn't want to play with the San Diego Chargers. It's a lot, but those guys are more talented. Okay, it's one of those for me. Only the Suns and Lakers worked out Bronny, and one of the big questions for me is why didn't any team out there call the Lakers bluff? Because the Lakers took Bronny at pick number 55, and if I'm a team, I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take your kid, and yeah, he might want to go play overseas. Yeah, he might want to do this, but I own his draft rights. And it's one of those where if you want him, you're going to have to compensate me. There's no rule, there's no law that says, hey, you know what? LeBron and the Lakers should be allowed to take Bronny. It's one of those at the end of the day, how bad do you want him? And I'm just surprised that no team really went out there and called their bluff on it. So the word nepotism has been thrown around today. And is this nepotism? I'll say yes, but it has some layers to it because at the end of the day, How many people in this world, and it's not everybody, okay, it's some, but how many people in this world have gotten a job because of their parents, okay? We see it in the sports world, we see it sometimes in the coaching ranks. But for me, at the end of the day, LeBron is doing this for his own legacy and not that of his son because he wants to be the first father son duo, okay, in the National Basketball Association. We've seen it in other sports before. We've seen the Andrettis in auto racing. We saw King Griffey Sr. and King Griffey Jr., okay, in baseball, but that was a totally different thing because King Griffey Sr. could play some baseball, okay? King Griffey Jr. was a phenom, and there's a reason why King Griffey Jr. is in the Baseball Hall of Fame right now. Bronny is not that phenom at the basketball level, at least at the NBA level, yet. Now, in all facets of it, I really do believe that he should have stayed in school for at least another year to work on his game. And what this is, in my opinion, and some will agree with it, some won't. It's all good, but it's like your dad hooking you up with a job that requires a master's degree, but you only got the high school degree. Okay, and of course, it's going to turn some heads, which it has now. And at the end of the day, for me, nobody, and I mean nobody, should be surprised right now with the Lakers taking Bronny because we basically all knew it was coming, and it fits into the circus of an off season for the Los Angeles Lakers so far. Okay, the egg on the face, if you will, if you want to call it that, might be smoke and mirrors as far as the serious courtship of Dan Hurley, which resulted in the Lakers drafting the podcast buddy JJ Redick to be their next head coach. And he immediately showed his immaturity by going out there and dropping F bombs in his introductory press conference. And now we've got the Lakers taking a kid who, for a lot of people, can say that he's clearly not ready to play in the NBA. And this is just to appease the aging superstar that is his dad. Jeannie Buss, okay, daughter of the late Dr. Jerry Buss, okay, has destroyed, in my opinion, the once proud franchise that was the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, it's one of those right now. To call the Lakers a train wreck would be a compliment. I'm going to borrow something here from the pro wrestling aspect, if you will. What the Lakers are right now, they are world championship wrestling in their last days. And if anybody can go back about a quarter century and remember those last couple of years for WCW, they weren't pretty. Why were they not pretty? Because plain and simple, there was nobody in charge. You had a lot of wrestlers doing things because of creative control in their contract. And guess what? The Lakers have basically given LeBron creative control. Nobody's in charge over there, whether it be Rob Pelinka, whether it be Jeannie Buss. For all we know, Rich Paul could be calling the shots over there with the Lakers. That's how this thing is working out. And whenever you don't have somebody involved, uh, you're setting yourself up for disaster. And this is what the Lakers are going to be. So you look at this joke of an upcoming season for the Lakers, and it's going to be must see TV for all of the wrong reasons. But will LeBron quit on his podcast buddy the way that he has quit on other head coaches in the past? I mean, I'm not sure because LeBron is basically going to be going out there telling JJ Redick what to do. Looks like he's basically telling everybody else what to do in this organization as it is. And again, like I said before, LeBron gave up trying to win championships a long time ago. This is just padding his ego, padding his stats as he looks to ride off in the sunset for the next couple of years. The Lakers are a joke. They are not going to be competitive. And at least when I say competitive, competitive at the championship level. These are not Magic Johnson's Lakers. These are not Kobe's Lakers. These are a Laker team, or this is a Lakers team that, for those diehard, hardcore Laker fans, it is going to be unrecognizable. And yes, this team won the NBA championship in 2020. Somebody had to win it. I get it. But look at this team and how they have regressed over the last couple of years. And a lot of that is due to the moves of GM LeBron behind the scenes. And I think this just adds to it. Should be surprised by this. We knew it was going to happen. But at the end of the day, uh, the Lakers play in the background of Hollywood. One of the, not really the media capital of the world, but the film capital of the world, if you will. A lot of television studios, a lot of movie studios in that section. And you think about it, Warner Brothers is right there. Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, Merry Melodies. We've already seen LeBron do a cameo to Space Jam 2, if you will. But at this point, all you need is Bugs, Daffy, and the rest of the gang, because that is exactly what the Lakers have become, a complete and utter joke. There's no other way to say it. That's what the Lakers simply are. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.